Good morning. This is Shades of Green on KDWN 720 AM in Las Vegas. Our show is produced by Green Alliance, and I'm your host, Paul Ira. Our guest today in studio is Tim Farkas, who's a structured finance manager for Ameresco. And then a little later we'll have Tom Polikalis from Southwest Energy Efficiency Project, and Jessica Scott, Regional Director from Vote Solar, calling in. We also have our co-host, Stan Hannell from Drive Clean Energy Las Vegas, and our producer, Annette Bubak, who will be capturing the show for Facebook Live. Facebook Live audience, you're welcome to call in with questions. And welcome, everybody.
Hello. Good to hear you.
If our listeners have questions for Tim, Tom, Jessica, or Stan, our call-in number is 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-KDWN. So today's focus is on PACE, and we're going to have a Nevada legislation update. And we'll start with Tim. Good morning, Tim. Can you give us, our listeners, a little background on you and how you became green and what makes you so sustainable?
Thanks, Paul. It's a real pleasure to be on the show. I appreciate the show a lot, and thanks for all your hard work that goes into it.
Thank you.
So by way of background, I am a native Las Vegan. I went to school at University of Oregon, got a business degree. And when you're young and in college and you want to try to figure out what you want to do with your life in the business world, it just seemed like common sense to me. Why wouldn't you want to help people save energy, save money, and make the world a better place all in the same time? And you can do that in this industry. And it's a great place to be. It's fulfilling professionally, it's fulfilling personally. And I really value what we do in this industry because it's very powerful. I first got started off in socially responsible investing. I went into investment management. I worked in San Francisco for about 9 years, and then my wife and I were both from Las Vegas. So when it was time to have kids, we moved back to where the parental units are, and we the babysitters and all that good stuff. So we moved back, and I got into banking. I worked as a public finance banker for 5 years, and just naturally gravitated towards these energy deals. Started to do a couple of energy bonds where the savings goes to make the debt service payment. So in effect, it becomes a budget neutral situation. And after 5 years of that, I became a consultant for one of those companies that does that type of work. I left banking. But I still helped our clients raise capital for these same types of energy efficiency and renewable energy projects. So for the last 7+ years, I've just been working on green energy projects, and it's been a great run.
That's
Had a lot of fun.
So you've helped finance a lot of good energy conservation, efficiency, sustainable projects.
Yeah, all over the country. Here in Nevada, but also one of the bigger projects we did was a big solar and lighting efficiency project at the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport. That was a lot of fun, $35 million in 2 phases. The lighting savings and the solar combined saved the airport in excess of a couple $100,000 a year. So that means all of their costs, financing costs, legal costs, everything got rolled into a financing, and they're saving more than they're paying every year, year over year.
Wow.
And so it's a very powerful solution.
So this was with your company, Ameresco. Tell us a little bit about Ameresco.
Yeah, Ameresco is, we're a national company. We sort of international. We have offices in Canada and Spain. But we do that type of work. We are a green energy company. We only do efficiency and green energy projects. Sometimes that means central plants. Central plants can be quite green or quite greener than the status quo of just burning brown power. And so we have a terrific green story to tell, but really the focus has always been the economics of a project. We don't have customers come to us and say, hey, we want to go green for green's sake. That doesn't fly. They come to us and they say, we want to go green, sort of, but we really want to save a lot of money. And that speaks to anyone's language, right? So we can get approvals from city councils in the smallest, most conservative towns in places like Texas and Arizona, and we can be very popular in the big campuses of universities where going green is important. And that model that I explained a minute ago is what drives it all, right? A project that pays for itself, and that's really the heart of what we do. And so when I hear people on TV, sometimes you hear debates about green energy and so forth, people talking about it like they're experts, and they say, well, if all the government subsidies weren't there, these green energy solutions wouldn't fly. That is just simply not true. This industry has been around since the 80s, and the thrust of it has always been economic savings first. And there weren't always incentives, and there weren't always utility incentives or federal incentives. When they're there, they drive more value, they drive bigger projects. But the heart of what this industry is sound and solid and financially responsible in every way.
So this is a financial vehicle for infrastructure improvement then?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's, I don't want to overplay my card, but I'm the finance director for this company and for the Southwest region. And it really is a financing vehicle. It really is a way for a company or a local government or a university to say, hey, look, we've got all these capital needs. We've got all these capital needs. We've got infrastructure components that are going to fail, right? And we can bring in this company to do an audit, an energy audit, and they can identify which parts of these capital needs fit into this budget neutral solution and take those capital needs out of our capital improvement plan, which we have to budget for and aren't budget neutral, right? When you have a capital improvement plan, you list all your capital needs, you prioritize them, and you address them as they come up and as you put them in your priority. And so what we do is we look at all of it, and we end up pulling out a good percentage of those projects into a budget neutral solution, which solves a lot of problems.
Well, this process is called performance contracting, and it's going to be a good segue into our next topic, which is PACE. So we'll be right back after we hear from our sponsors.